Hey everyone, it's me Sabrina. Hope you all are having a great day. So, today I thought I'd make an interesting video. Nothing like my usual content. Not that I post much anyways, but I thought I'd be talking about my IGCSE experience as well as offering some tips and tricks that you guys can follow if you want to get straight A's or even just for a good passing grade. So, as you can tell from the title of the video, I finished IGCSEs in only 1 year instead of 2 years, which may be a bit confusing because, well, most people finish them in 2 years due to the amount of subjects and, the amount of content that students have to learn. And so 2 years seems like a reasonable amount of time to get all your grades up and to practice a lot of past papers and all that stuff. But due to some life circumstances, I did not have the opportunity and I got to my school pretty late. So I basically just had to fit 2 years into one. I had to cram everything. And obviously people, had low expectations. They were like, are you sure you can do this in only 1 year? And there is a reason that we're given 2 years to study these IGCSEs. I mean, we have a lot of subjects to study, and some of these subjects have a lot of content, such as biology. I understand that a lot of people were like, are you sure you can do this in just 1 year? But I will say it's definitely achievable. If you have the mindset for it, if you're willing to work hard, and if you're willing to put a little bit of your social life at temporary hold, then it's definitely achievable. So the subjects that I studied this year in May, June 2024 were biology, chemistry, physics, math, ICT, and first language English. So I'll be showing my grades here on the screen. I got 3 A's and 3 A stars, which to be honest, I was not expecting at all. Honestly, I was expecting to get like a B in math or something, or a B in physics, because those are not my fortes. I've never been known to like them. I've never been known to excel in them. So I was really surprised that I got straight A's. So I guess now I'll be offering some tips and tricks that you guys can use to either just get good passing grades or the same as I did. The first thing I'll be talking about is the most important point I can give. I know literally everyone says this, but past papers. I cannot stress to you how important they are, and unfortunately I only realized this like in the second half of the school year. In the first half of the school year, I essentially just did notes from the textbooks, and I kind of watched YouTube videos and that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, like those things are helpful too, and maybe they work better for some people, but for me personally, notes did not do much for me. It kind of was just like a waste of time, and for me, all I really was doing was making pretty notes, and I wasn't actually like absorbing a lot of the information. So I kind of feel like I wasted the first half of the year. So that's why past papers are super essential. The way I did them was that essentially I didn't do a lot in the beginning of the year. I mean, we would do a few in class, but as I said, because I wasn't absorbing a lot of the information, and because I was kind of overwhelmed with all the content at first, I was not doing well in past papers, obviously, as expected. For example, for stuff like chemistry especially, I did not get chemistry like at all. I was so bad at it. But towards the end of the year, towards exams and stuff, I was really good at it. So essentially, I think that at first you shouldn't stress too much on past papers, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do any at all. You definitely should get a sense of what past papers are, because one of the big things about IGCSEs is that a lot of the past papers are very similar. They have similar questions, they have similar style of questions, and the mark schemes are also very similar. They have the same keywords, they have the same sentence structures, all that kind of stuff. So half of doing past papers is literally just memorizing and recognizing and being familiar with the format of past papers and knowing what the examiners want from you, what they want in your answers, the keywords, the phrases that they want you to include, because those are the things that are going to get you good marks at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if you are, super knowledgeable in something. If you don't know how past papers work, then you're not gonna get the marks. I'm sorry to say, it is sad that exams work like this, but in order to get good grades in IGCSEs, you really have to be familiar with past papers, what they want from you, and the things that you have to write in order to get that full mark, or like as high of a mark as possible. So as we're nearing the exams, you're probably already going to be very familiar with past papers, their formats, because you've done so many. So basically during this exam time of April, May, and June, you just have to keep doing past papers. All I ever did during this time was past papers, past papers, past papers. I might watch a YouTube video here and there to help me like refresh on maybe topics that I'm not confident on and stuff like that. But mostly past papers are just your best friend. You just have to always be doing them, always be thinking about them. And another thing is that you have to be timing yourself, like for sure. Because something that a lot of students struggle with is time management, is that when they go into the exam and they start writing, they eventually realize, you know, damn, I don't actually have that much time left, I have to hurry up. So in order for you to not feel this stress, not feel this way, you have to time yourself at home, you know? Some people do this method where they set up their table as if it's an exam table. And if you don't know how it looks like, you basically have this little card with your name on it, your candidate number, your center number, and like, you know, you have a water bottle in case you get thirsty or whatever. So you can set up your table that way so that you feel like you're in the exam room. You can put a timer either on your alarm clock or on your laptop, on your phone, whatever works for you, and just put it on the time, you know, that is meant for the exam, and just, you know, do the past paper in that time. And don't worry if you can't finish it on time the first few tries. That happens a lot of the times, you know, especially for paper 2 in like the science subjects. That's, you know, they have it's a very small time limit, and a lot of students struggle with that, like a few of my friends did. But if you practice it at home, it's definitely achievable. Like you can definitely, you know, finish past papers in time, and during exams you won't feel stressed. It's actually very probable that you'll have extra time, which is great because you can check over your answers. Maybe you wrote something wrong, maybe you skipped over a question. And I think the last tip I'll give for past papers is that definitely answer the questions that you know first. If you look at a question and you're like, oh, I don't understand this, you should leave it. You should not be mulling over it. You should leave it and answer the next one. Answer whatever you know first, so that you have enough time in the exam to go back and look at the questions again, because maybe you have a new perspective. Maybe the other questions might have helped you. That happens sometimes. So it really is helpful to manage your time and to not waste time just sitting there and thinking, oh my god, what do I answer, you know, because it's just gonna waste time, and eventually you're not gonna have time to answer the questions that you actually do know. So the second tip I'll be giving are the resources that I used. You know, because it is important to solve past papers, but it is also important to look at YouTube videos to see other explanations, because a lot of the time, unfortunately, we don't understand our teacher. You know, even if we keep asking them to explain and explain, you know, some teachers just don't have a good teaching method, or maybe they just are not explaining in a way that you will understand. But you know, with the internet nowadays, the sky's the limit, and there are like a gajillion resources that we can use. So I'll be giving a few that I've used over the year that are really helpful and that a lot of people use, and they just helped me understand, you know, concepts better, and just like even the small little details and topics that may not have been super clear before. And that's really important if you want to ace, you know, some subjects. So for the sciences, the most popular channel is Cognito, understandably so, because their videos are like literally just 5 minutes, like on each subtopic of a science. So if you want to understand like a little part of biology that you don't understand, then you can easily find a video on their YouTube channel, and they have like everything, and they explain it really clearly with diagrams and pictures. They also have a website, which is great. I used it a lot. And it's basically like an interactive question and answer type thing, so you can collect XP, and you can even get a streak if you go onto their website every day. So I feel like it's very motivating, you know, that you'll want to go every day and like revise topics and stuff. And they also have flashcards and stuff like that. Cognito also teaches math, but I didn't use it for math a lot because, as I said, their videos are short, and for math that's not really a great thing, because in math exams, they don't ask you simple questions, unfortunately. They will twist questions around. They will make things super complicated that will make you ask yourself, did I even study this? So you did, but it's just they ask questions in a really weird way. They add some extra element, and so it's just like super complicating. So for math, I would recommend Ginger Mathematician. He is my personal favorite. But there's also IGCSE Math. And there's also the Organic Chemistry Tutor. I know it says chemistry tutor, and he does teach chemistry, but he also teaches math, and I think even physics. Another great science channel is Science with Hazel. She has great videos. There's also the Amoeba Sisters. They kind of do videos through like animation and stuff, which is really cool, but they just teach biology. And if you want physics, there's Ali Muhammad. He does like 1 hour videos and they're kind of like on one chapter each, you know? So if you want like a full chapter recap on something, then he's a really great resource. Also, another great channel for chemistry and biology is ChemBio by Husni. He also has an Instagram account. He mostly talks about like, you know, the keywords you need to remember from mark schemes, but he also offers, you know, tips on how to deal with A-levels, which is great if you were considering to do sciences and A-levels. And then on Instagram, there's also this account called mattgreen.jgm, if I'm correct. And he's really cool because he's actually a rapper and he basically makes songs that's like, you know, about sciences, but he raps. So it's like super interesting, it's very engaging. And on his stories, he also always posts like questions and polls, you know, just like little reminders to, you know, keep you in check about your sciences. For ICT, there's a YouTube channel called Ajiro Tech AT. And what he basically does is he just solves past papers for you. So even though he may not be explaining it like right there, I think it's really helpful because ICT practical papers, it's kind of hard to explain it like in words. You kind of just have to see how it's done so that you know the method yourself, and you know, eventually when you do the exam yourself, it'll be easy as well. And finally, for first language English, I didn't use a lot of resources, but one channel that was helpful to me was Taughtly. She basically just explains the tips and tricks that you have to remember while doing English past papers, you know, such as like the fact that you have to have good vocabulary, you know, what to do if you're choosing descriptive or if you're choosing narrative, just kind of little tidbits like that, what she would do if she's answering a past paper, and I found that really helpful. So the third and final tip I'll be talking about is time management and socialization. Now you might be wondering, why am I including time management and socialization in one point? And that's because I feel like the reason a lot of students struggle with time management is because they want to socialize. Because obviously we want to hang out with our friends, we want to be texting, we want to watch TikTok, all that kind of stuff. Obviously as a teenager, I understand most of us are addicted to, you know, screens, phones, laptops, TV, whatever. So it's really hard to kind of like separate yourself from that when you're trying to study and, you know, get good grades. But it's definitely achievable. And that's not to say that you shouldn't have a social life. Like, you definitely should. I think it's very important for the human brain, because if you just keep studying nonstop, you are going to get burnout and you are eventually just going to be like, oh, whatever. Like, I actually don't care because I'm studying so much and I'm burning myself out. And that's not doing anyone any good. So I would say that the percentage of, you know, study life with normal life would be 70 to 30%. So, you know, you can definitely still text your friends. You can maybe go out once in a while, but it definitely should not be like a regular thing. Because in order to get passing grades or straight A's, you definitely have to, you know, make studying a priority. And I think it's also great to encourage your friends to do the same, because if you all get good grades and pass, that means that none of you have to repeat any exams and that you'll all be satisfied with your grades. And I think that there's nothing better than being satisfied with what you've got and just knowing the fact that your hard work paid off at the end of the day. Basically, I'm going to be giving some methods on how to like properly sit down and focus. The thing that worked best for me was something that I call the couch phone method. I haven't heard anyone talking about this. I don't think it's like a well-known thing. I just kind of came up with it. But it's basically like, so I'm staying in my bedroom, right? My phone sitting next to me on the desk or even on the bed is still distracting, because even if, you know, sound notifications are off, you are still going to have a deep urge to be like, ooh, like I'm missing out. I want to see if my friends texted me something. I'm pretty sure it's like called, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out. That's a big problem personally for me as well. But to basically kind of help deal with this, what I did was that I left my phone in the couch in the living room. I know that's like a big step, but I think it's really necessary, particularly during the time of exams, because during the time of exams you cannot be thinking about missing out on drama and gossip. Like, you have to be thinking about doing past papers, about, you know, doing your best, doing the best you can. So what I basically did was that I studied for around 2 hours, maybe 1 hour 30 minutes, and I can time this on my laptop. And then I would basically just go to the living room and be on my phone. Do whatever I want. Watch YouTube, watch TikTok, chat with my friends, play games, whatever, for like 15 to 30 minutes. And that's great. Like, it might seem a very little time, but compared to the amount of time you're studying, like, it's awesome. So after that, you put your phone down again and just go back to your room and repeat the cycle. Study for 2 hours, be on the phone for 30 minutes. Study for 2 hours, be on the phone for 30 minutes. And it's great because by the end of the day, you're going to have studied like 5 times more than you were on your phone, which is like awesome compared to what we usually do. If you have a short attention span, which I know is very common these days, you can try a method that my teacher was telling us about. What he did was that he basically would study for 30 minutes and then walk around the house. Not go on his phone, walk around the house. And I know that's a bit peculiar, but I think it does actually work, because when you're walking around the house, your limbs are like moving, your blood is circulating, you know, and you feel active, you feel like you're doing something. So you're not on your phone, which is, you know, a good thing, because studying for 30 minutes actually is like kind of little compared to like the 2 hours that I was talking about, because 30 minutes is like not even a past paper for any subject. And you know, so I'm sure you can just watch like one video and that's it. So I'm sure that very little would have been absorbed. And what happens when you go to use your phone is that, you know, your brain just forgets about everything other than what's in front of you on the screen. And that's really dangerous, you know, during the studying period, because you have to absorb everything that you were learning, you know. So if you have a short attention span, if you can't find it in yourself to focus for 2 whole hours, then just use this method. Study for 30 minutes, walk around for like 5 to 10 minutes around your house. Maybe you can go outside for a walk for a bit, and then come back to your room and sit for another 30 minutes, walk again, maybe eat something, go again and sit for 30 minutes. And after a few rounds of this, then you can use your phone, because using your phone every 30 minutes is like super dangerous. You're gonna forget a lot of things, and you're just gonna be way more preoccupied with the thought of using your phone rather than like actually studying and using your time valuably. Anyways, that was it for this video. Those were all my tips and tricks that I have to offer for IGCSEs. And I know it's just the beginning of the year, but if these tips helped you, please comment down below. It would make me really happy. And I wish you guys all the best of luck for your IGCSE exams, to whoever is taking it. And thanks for watching. Love you guys. Bye.